The Adventure in a Female Hostel. Hi, welcome to Unwritten Tales with Teb. Let's head over to St. Catherine's Girls' Secondary School for spine-tingling, horror-breeding tales of a mystic wardrobe
in the students' dormitory.
Adventure in a Female Hostel. St. Catherine's Girls' Secondary School was known for its academic excellence, strict discipline, and mysterious hostel stories. For years, tales of strange occurrences had been whispered among students, doors slamming on their own, footsteps in empty hallways, and the most infamous of all, the legend of the old wardrobe in Dormitory B. Amaka, a 14-year-old girl with dark skin and braided hair, arrives at St. Catherine's Girls' Secondary School. She wears a neatly pressed school uniform consisting of a white blouse and a navy blue skirt. She carries a suitcase and looks around with curiosity and mild frustration. Other students in similar uniforms are seen in the background, chatting and settling into the hostel. Amaka, a new student, had no interest in ghost stories. She had spent her entire life in a day school before her parents decided she needed discipline and focus. Now, she was stuck in a hostel full of strange rules and even stranger girls who seemed to thrive on superstition. Her first night in the hostel was chaotic. Girls chatted excitedly about their holiday experiences, some fought over beds, while others scrambled to arrange their lockers. Amaka's bunkmate, Kemi, was a lively girl with a mischievous smile. Amaka is inside Dormitory B, standing beside her bunkmate, Kemi, a slim girl with dark skin and short curly hair. They are looking at an old wooden wardrobe in the corner of the dormitory. Other girls, including Funmi, a plump girl with glasses, are sitting on bunk beds, whispering about the wardrobe's eerie past. "You're lucky you got Dormitory B," Kemi told her as she helped Amaka settle in. "Lucky?" Amaka raised an eyebrow. "This place looks like every other dorm." A dimly lit school dormitory with bunk beds neatly arranged. A group of teenage girls in school uniforms are gathered, whispering and pointing at an old, slightly scratched wooden wardrobe in the corner. Amaka stands close to it, looking skeptical, while her bunkmate Kemi warns her with a cautious expression. Kemi lowered her voice. "It's not. This is where the wardrobe is." Amaka followed Kemi's gaze to the corner of the room where an old wooden wardrobe stood. Unlike the other lockers, which were sleek and modern, this one looked ancient, with deep scratches on its surface. It seemed out of place. "What's wrong with it?" Amaka asked, unimpressed. Kemi hesitated before answering. "They say it's cursed. If you open it, you might disappear." Amaka chuckled. "That's ridiculous." "It's true." Another girl, Funmi, chimed in. "Years ago, a girl named Ada disappeared from this dorm. She was seen opening the wardrobe the night before she vanished." Amaka rolled her eyes. "Or maybe she ran away?" Kemi shook her head. "Her belongings were still here. She was never found." Amaka dismissed their fears as childish imagination. She had no interest in ghost stories, but as she lay in bed that night, staring at the wardrobe in the dim moonlight, a tiny part of her wondered. The forbidden wardrobe. Curiosity got the best of her. At midnight, when the hostel was silent, Amaka slipped out of bed. She tiptoed past the sleeping girls and approached the wardrobe. Up close, she noticed something odd. The scratches weren't random. They looked like letters, half erased. Taking a deep breath, she grasped the handle and pulled. The door creaked open. Inside, there was nothing but dust and darkness. Amaka exhaled in relief. "See! Nothing!" Her words froze as she spotted something on the wardrobe floor. A small, tattered diary. She picked it up, wiped off the dust, and flipped it open. The first page sent chills down her spine. "Help me. I am trapped." Her heart pounded. She quickly flipped through the pages. The diary belonged to Ada, the girl who had vanished. Each entry described eerie whispers at night, shadows that moved, and a growing fear that something was watching her. The last entry read, I hear the voice again. It's calling me. I have to open the wardrobe. Amaka's breath caught. She snapped the book shut and turned to leave, only to find the wardrobe door shutting on its own. Panic surged through her. She tried to pry it open, but it wouldn't budge. The room suddenly felt colder. Then she heard it. A faint giggle behind her. She spun around. There was nothing. The investigation. The next morning, Amaka wasted no time showing Kemi the diary. "This proves Ada didn't just disappear," she said. "Something happened to her." Kemi shuddered. "We need to tell the senior girls." "They'll just laugh at us," Funmi said. "Or worse, report us for breaking hostel rules." Amaka sighed. "Then we find out the truth ourselves." That night, the three girls armed themselves with a torchlight and sat by the wardrobe. If there was something strange about it, they were going to find out. At exactly midnight, the air turned icy. The room, once filled with quiet breathing and occasional snores, became unnervingly silent. The wardrobe began to rattle. Then, a voice whispered, "Come closer." The girls froze. The wardrobe creaked open on its own, revealing total darkness inside. Kemi grabbed Amaka's arm. "I don't like this. Let's go back to bed." But Amaka was transfixed. She stepped closer, raising her torchlight to shine inside. The beam flickered, and then a hand shot out. Amaka screamed, stumbling back. The wardrobe door slammed shut. Funmi was already running toward the door. "We need to get out of here!" Just then, a soft knock echoed from inside the wardrobe. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. The girls bolted. A dangerous discovery. By morning, Amaka had made up her mind. "We have to open the wardrobe again. Properly this time." Kemi stared at her like she was crazy. "After what happened last night?" "Yes. What if Ada is still inside? What if she never disappeared but was taken?" Funmi shook her head. "We'll get into trouble." Amaka was undeterred. That night, they prepared differently. They brought salt, because old ghost stories said spirits hated salt. They also carried an extra torchlight. At midnight, they stood before the wardrobe once more. Amaka reached out and pulled the door open. The darkness inside wasn't normal. It was deeper, almost alive. Then Ada stepped out. Her uniform was faded, her hair wild, her eyes hollow. She looked as if she had been lost for years. "Help me," she whispered. Kemi shrieked and threw salt at her. The figure let out an ear-piercing scream and vanished. The wardrobe slammed shut. The truth revealed. The next morning, the girls reported everything to the hostel matron. At first, she dismissed their claims, but when she opened the wardrobe herself, she gasped. Inside, hidden behind a false wooden panel, was an old, narrow tunnel leading underground. Authorities were called, and they discovered a small, forgotten basement beneath the school. Inside were old school records and Ada's remains. The truth was finally uncovered. Years ago, Ada had been lured to the wardrobe by something, or someone. But she had never escaped. Her diary had been her last cry for help. The end of the legend. The wardrobe was removed, the basement sealed, and Ada was given a proper burial. After that night, the strange occurrences in Dormitory B stopped. The whispers, the footsteps, the giggles, all vanished. Amaka, Kemi, and Funmi never spoke of that night again, but every time they passed the spot where the wardrobe once stood, they couldn't help but wonder. Had they really freed Ada, or had they just awakened something worse?